Okay, so this is the May 2013 1F iGCSE foundation paper, and I'm going to work through the answers so that you can forward to the questions that you got wrong, so you get a bit of an answer, a bit of an idea as to how you can do those questions. I hope you find this useful. So we're going to start with question 1. Write the number 4,601 in words. So 4,601. Write down the value of the 5. So the 5 is in the thousands column, so it's 5,000. Write down the number 4,773 correct to the nearest 10. So the nearest 10, we've got 73. So 73 is closer to 70 rather than 80. So it's 4,770. Write down the smallest even number in the table. Interestingly, there are only 2 even numbers, 4924, 4874, so the ones ending in an even number. So the smallest one of those is 4874. Then one of the numbers in the table written correct to the nearest 100 is 4700. So which number rounds to 4700? It's not the first one, not the second one, not the third one. 4773. Now that would go to 4,800 because that's closer to 4,800. The next one would go to 4,700. So that is 4667. 667. Okay, moving on. Which of the 5 countries had the greatest number? So Egypt. Write down the number of candidates from Malaysia. So that's halfway between the 500 exactly, so that's going to be 250. Number of candidates from one country was 1086, so just over 1,000. 1086, just over 1,000. It's going to be Kenya. And then Spain is 727. So Spain is 727. Well, this line here is going to be 750. So 727 is just about halfway up to there. So there we go. About to there. Okay, and that bar Spain. Work out the next 2 numbers in the sequence. So what's happening here? Well, that seems to be going up by 8 and another 8 and another 8 and another 8. So we're adding on 8 each time. So we're going to get to 42 and then 50 if we add on 8. The 20th term in the sequence is 154. Work out the 19th term, so that's the one before, so we want 154. I'm going to take away 8, so that's 1, 4, 6. From the numbers in the box, write down a multiple of 9. So you need to know your 9 times table. 27 is in the 9 times table. A factor of 90, things that go into 90. There's only one of those. That's 30 goes into 90. A square number. So this is a number that you get by timesing a number by itself. So 25 is our square number. The square root of 576. I would suggest you've got a calculator. You try it. You just put that in your calculator and it'll come out at 24. and a prime number, so something that isn't divisible by anything other than itself or 1. So none of the even numbers. 25 is 5 times 5. 27 we've already said is in the 9 times table. So 29 is the only option. Must be there is nothing that goes into 29 other than 1 and 29. The triangle A has 3 sides. Write down the mathematical 3 equal sides. Write down the mathematical name for this type of triangle. So the equal sides, it is called an equilateral triangle. Polygon B, sign in polygon B is 8-sided. What is an 8-sided? So an 8-sided is an octagon. An octopus has 8 legs. Okay, an octagon. How many lines of symmetry has line C? So a line of symmetry, it must be exactly the same on both sides. So I can look at C. If I put a line down the middle, that looks like it might be a line of symmetry. But if I put a mirror, one of the arrows is up and one of them's down. So that's not a line of symmetry. There's not a line of symmetry there because of the way the arrows fall all there. So actually, there are no lines of symmetry in that one. Okay, the order of symmetry of sign D. So if I rotate it around, how many times can I rotate it around before it gets back to itself? So 3 times. So you either count the start or the end, but not both. So 3 times as you rotate that around. Sometimes a bit of tracing paper can be useful, but that's quite difficult to demonstrate on here. But just try it and look at it. 3.8 meters in centimeters. Well, you need to know that there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So 3 is going to be 300. So we're going to move the decimal point 2 places. We're going to move the make the numbers 3 times bigger, 100 times bigger. So we're going to get 380 centimeters. Likewise with this one, you need to know the fact that there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So kilo, 1,000, centi, 100. So that 1,000 meter is 1 kilometer. So that means this is 1,000th. So you've got to divide it by 1,000. 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be 0.3 kilometers, less than a whole one. Length of time from 8 AM to 6 PM. So 8, obviously we've got to go up to noon, so up to 12, that's 4 hours, and then on to 6, that's another 6 hours, so that's 10 hours in total. Okay, right, 6 PM as a time using the 24-hour clock, so the 24-hour clock gets to 12, and then we've got to add on 6 hours, but it just keeps counting on, so that gets to 1,800 hours, so 1800. 0.16 is a decimal, I'm sorry, 16% is a decimal, so that's 1/1600ths, so that's 0.16. As a fraction in its simplest form, so 16% is 16 over 100, and then we just cancel down, so let's divide the top and bottom by 2, 8 out of 50, 4 out of 25, and then there's nothing that goes any further than that. So 4 out of 25, excuse me. Okay, so we're going to keep going through this, and so just give me a second. Okay, so on the dotted line, write a number so the two ratios are equivalent. So 1 to 4, so it's 3 to, well, we're timesing them by 3, so we've got to times them both by 3, so that's going to be 4 to 12. Okay, let's keep going. Write down, this time using the 12-hour clock. So the hour hand has just gone past the 4, so it's 4 something, and then it's gone past half past, so that's half an hour and another 5 minutes. So that's 4:35. And it's in the afternoon, so that's got to be PM. Train arrives at Candy at 5 to 8 in the evening, so it's just before 8 o'clock, so the second hand is just before the 8, and it's 5:2, so the long hand is pointing directly at 5 minutes to the clock, which is straight up. Okay. Emma buys a first class ticket and 9 second class tickets for the journey from Colombo to Kandy. Total cost is 4,500 Sri Lankan rupees. The cost of each first class ticket is 360. So on first class tickets, you spent 360 times 7. We get our calculator out, and that is 2,050. So on second class, well, it's 4,500 minus 2,520, which is 1,890. Therefore, number of second class is 1,890 divided by how many second class? So there's 9 of them, which is 220 rupees. Okay, so this graph can be used to find the cost in dollars of cleaning a carpet with the area of up to 50. So the carpet has area 41, so this is 40, 41. Let's just zoom in on this so you can see. So 41, we're going to go, so this is 40, 50, so this goes up in ones. This is 41. See, that's pretty accurate going up there. And we're going to go exactly across. So we've got to work out what this is going up in. So 100 to 150, so that's going up in 10, so 110, 115. 115, so let's write that in. Okay, and then the next one, cost of cleaning is 65. 65, use this graph to find the area, so 50, 55, 60, 65 is there. Again, that's just 65 is there. Okay, this goes up in ones, so this is 23, so 23. Okay, carpet is a length that and a width that. Find the cost of cleaning the carpet. So first of all, we've got to find the area, so times 6.8 by 5. So that's 34 metres squared, and then I'm going to find 34 metres squared on here. So 34 and then I go across and leave these lines, don't rub these lines out, they're kind of all part of the working, and that's 5 below, so that's 95. Convert 3/8 to a decimal, so that it's just 3 divided by 8, or you can put 3/8 into a calculator. You've then probably got to put the S to D button depending on what kind of calculator you've got, and it will tell you that it is 0.375. 5/6, so I would say you work out 1/6 divided by 6, and then you times that by 5. So 54 divided by 6 times by 5 is going to be 45. Okay, these fractions in size order, so I would do the same as we've just done above, but for each of them, and we'll just work out the decimal for each of them. So 16 divided by 25, that's 0.64. 2/3 is 0.666. That goes on forever. 3/5 is 0.6, and 13 divided by 20 is 0.65. So we look at the first digit, they're all 6s. Okay, we look at the next digit. So this one has a 4, this one has a 0. Effectively, there's a 0 there. So that is going to be the smallest one, 3/5. Then 6, 0, then it's 6, 4, so that's going to be 16 to 25, then it's 6, 5, that's 13 out of 20, and the biggest one is 6, 6, that's 2/3. So turn them into decimals, check the first number first, the second number next, and we go down. Okay, question 9, c squared, so we've got 3c squared plus 5c squared, that's 8, minus 1c squared is 7, and we've just got, they're all c squareds. Okay, here we've got two different things, we've got the x's, so we've got 4x, and we've got to add on 5x, so that's 9x's. And we've got minus 3y, and we've got minus another minus 2y, so minus 3y minus another 2y is minus 5y. Find the probability that Aaron is the name on the card that she takes. She's got these 5 cards, Aaron is one of them, but it's only one of them out of 5, so we write that 1 out of 5, just as a fraction. Can change it into all sorts of other forms, but the easiest is just to leave it as a fraction like that. Find the probability that A is the first letter. Well, they are all A's. So you can either write it as 5 out of 5, or you can just say that's 1 or 100%. Probability 5 letters on the, there are 5 letters on the card. Well, that one has 5 letters, that one has 5 letters, and I think all the other have 4, so that's 2 out of 5. Okay. Work out the size of angle ABC. So the first thing you need to know is, what do they mean by that angle? Where is this on the diagram? Well, it's A to B to C. That's what ABC means. So it's the angle that that makes. So it's that one there. So it's made up of 2 bits. This bit, which these dashes mean that these lines are all the same. So this is an equilateral triangle. Okay, so the angle ABD, total angle is 180, is 180 divided by 3, because they're all the same, because it's an equal angle. So It's going to be 60 degrees. So this here is 60. And then these two mean that this is an isosceles triangle. This CD isn't equal, so it's not equilateral, but the base angles in isosceles are equal, so that's 65. Then it must add up to 180, so 65 and 65 is 130. So that means there's 50 left over. So angle DBC equals 180 minus 65 times 2, which is 50. And that means that angle ABC equals 60 plus the 50, which is 110 degrees. Okay, question 12, work out the value of P when X is 3 and Y is 7. So P is 12X, which is 12 times 3, plus 2Y, which is 2 times 7. So that's 36 plus 14, which is 50. Work out the value of P with the value of X when P is 43 and Y is 6.5. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to say 43 equals 12X plus 2 times 6.5. So that's 43 is 12X plus 2 plus 6.5 is 13. So take 13 from both sides, we get 30 is 12X. Then we divide both sides by 12. 30 divided by 12 is 2.5. So we've got X is 2.5. So we're going to minus 13 at this stage. Let's just write those in. Divide by 12. Okay. Find in terms of X and Y a formula for the area of the shape and then simplify your answer. So the area, so we've got the rectangle on the right, that's Y times 4X. And then we've got the triangle on the left. So the triangle is the width by the height. So that's 3x by 4x. And then we're going to divide that by 2. So y times 4x, that's 4xy, plus 3x times 4x, that's 12x squared divided by 2. So that's going to give me 6x squared. So there we have it, 4xy plus 6x squared. Okay, the table shows information about the marks scored on an examination question by each of 40 students. Which mark is the mode? So the mode is the one that comes up the most often, the most number of students. So that's 4. The median mark, well, there are 40 students, so the middle mark, if they're in order, is 40, add 1, divide by 2, so that's the 20.5th number. Okay, so we're going to just, it can be helpful just to do the cumulative frequencies here. So there's 13, 15, 18, 26, 40. So the 25th number, so there are 18 numbers up to this point. So it's not in that group, and there are 26 up to this point. So the middle one, if you imagine them all lined up in order, it's going to be in that group there. So the middle mark is 3. Okay, so the mean mark, so we need to work out, okay, there are 13 zeros. So what is that total? We sometimes call it the fx column. The frequency times the x value. So that's 0. Important, that's probably the easiest one to get wrong. 2 times 1 is 2. 6 24. 4 times 14 is 56. Add those up, 70, 80, 88. How many are there altogether? There's 40 students altogether, so the mean mark is 88 divided by 40, which I make 2.2 exactly, and leave it as 2.2, don't round it. Okay. Work out the square root of 7.4. So you can put this all in your calculator. You can make your calculator look like it does on there. If you haven't got one of those calculators, I strongly recommend you get a calculator. That means you can make it look exactly like it does. So when you do that, you get 0.353284948. You might have more digits than that, or slightly less, but that's it. Now, this has confused a few people. Two significant figures. So the 0 at the front is not considered significant because it is not telling me the accuracy of the number, it is just telling me the size of the number. So two significant figures is not counting that, so that just stays there. 0 point, and then these two are significant. So 0.35. Look to the next number. Does it round up? No, it doesn't, because that's 3. So we just write 0.35. Okay, multiply this out. 6 lots of n, 6 lots of minus 2. It's going to be 6n minus 12. Factorise this. So we're looking what goes in both of them. We're going to put some brackets in. What if we take p out, get a p and a minus 5. So there's our answer. So if we checked it, then p times p is p squared. P times minus 5 is minus 5p. And then this one, there's two different ways of doing this. I think probably the easiest is to multiply both sides by 2. So if you multiply this side by 2, you just get that. Then you've got to multiply the other side by 2, so you get 2x. Then you're going to minus 2x from both sides. So I'm going to get 5x and minus 2x from here, because I've got 2 lots of x's and I don't want that. Minus 5x minus 3 equals 0. Get the numbers on the other side, so I'm going to add 3. So 5x equals 3, and then I'm going to divide by 5. So I divide by 5, I get x equals 3 over 5, or 0.6. There. Okay. Give a reason why x is 107. Well, it's because of the parallel lines, but we need to give a reason. Remember, there are different types of angles on parallel lines, and these ones, this is the same set. So this one we just shifted up in this corresponding set. So it's because they are corresponding angles on parallel lines. So the key bit is the corresponding angles bit. That's the bit you need to get the mark. So that means that is 107. Okay, work out the value of y. Well, y is in this shape here, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So I know a square has 360, and I know it goes up 180 each time. So that would be 5 sides, that would be 6 sides. That's going to be 720 in total. So y, to get y, I do 720 minus all the other bits. So that's 107 minus 134, and minus 142 minus 92 minus 123, and I get 122 degrees. Okay, an airline flight increases the prices by 8%. So we've got 475. What is the price after the increase? So there's a number of ways of doing this, but I think we want to work out what 1% is. So 100% is 475. So 1%, we're going to divide that by 100, so we get 4.75. So 8% is 8 times that. 8 times 5 is 38. So the price after the increase is actually 108%, which if I add the 38 on to 475, 513. Okay, the increase in flight to Mumbai was 48. So the increase was 48. So we're saying that actually 8% was 48. So now if I work out 1%, I divide by 8. 6 eighths 48, so 1% is divided by 8. And we want the price after the increase, so we want 100%. Well, that's times by 100, so that's 600. So 108% is the 6% plus the 8% is 648. Okay. Now these symbols, you need to know what they mean. This symbol, intersection, is the bit where they overlap. So if this is set S and this is set V, it's the bit where they overlap. So where are the things that are in both? So A is in both. Oh. A is in both, E is in both, and U is in both. A, E, and U. Nothing else. The things that are left in S are S, and Q, and R. Things left in this one, A, E, I, and O. Now the union means all of it. Okay. That's either in this circle or in both. So that is S, Q, R, E, U, A, I, O. I'm sure you can make up some words with that, but that's not what they're asking you for. Okay. A solid cylinder has radius of this and height of this. Work out the total surface area. So that means the area of the whole lot. So there's an area on the top, there's an area on the bottom, which is going to be the same as the area on the top, and then there's this area, so it's the amount of wrapping paper, as it were, that you get from this one. So this, if you imagine this folded out flat, this will have the length all the way around, it'll be a rectangle with the length all the way around, the height of that. So let's do the circle first of all. So the circle is, area is pi r squared, which is pi times 5.1 squared. Which is 81.71. I'm going to go more than the 3 significant figures I need. and I've got a top and bottom of that, and then I've got the curved bit here. The curved bit is going to be 3.7 times the length all the way around. Well, that's the circumference, which is pi times the diameter. The diameter is twice that, that's 10.2. So the curved bit is that, so that's 3.7 times pi times 10.2. So that's 118.56. Again, I'm getting more accurate than I need at this stage. So I need two of the circles, the top and the bottom. So 81.71 times 2 plus the 118.56. 1.71 times 2 plus 118.56 gives me 281.98. So that to three significant figures, 281, well it's 0.9, so that's 282 to three significant figures. Okay, the number of runners in the London Marathon on the 25th of April 2010 was 37,527. Work out an estimate for the number of these runners whose birthday was on that day. Well, how many people on average have a birthday on that day? Well, everyone must have a birthday in the year at some point. So on average, there are 365 days in the year. So if we divide this by the number of days in the year, then on average those people will all be spread out equally over those 365 days. It's 102.8. Estimate an estimate. Well, I estimate the nearest runner, it'll be 103 runners. Okay. So Oliver's horse came ambling home to Oliver's aunt, or Sokatoa. So this one, it's got an angle, the hypotenuse and the adjacent. So this is using cos. So the cos of the angle, I don't know, is the whoops, I've not written that in a very helpful way at all. Scrap that, those are rubbish. So, car, tower. There we go, sorry. So, is the cos of the angle is the adjacent 8.3 over the hypotenuse, which is 9.5. That's going to be 8.3 divided by 9.5 is 0.87368, and then x is cos to the minus 1, or arc cos of all of this. Your calculator is in degrees mode, and it should come out with 29.1 degrees to one decimal place. And there we have the iGCSE paper 1F for 2000, and 13. I hope that was useful.